Well, hello there. Are you back for more? Was the first video so intriguing you're here to learn another lesson? Well, if that's the case, grab a piece of paper and a pencil, because class is in session. What is good, everyone? Welcome back to another video, vlog, whatever you want to call it. Before we start today's video, I just want to let everyone know that the manuscript tee is now available on our website, so please go check it out. Okay, so today's video is going to be a part 2 on our series of how to make $1 million selling clothes, and this is for people who are looking to start making t-shirts. I'm going to give you 3 ways of going about getting your t-shirts printed, give you the pros and the cons of all these methods in my personal opinion. That way you can figure out which is best for you. Let's get it. Method number 1 is printing through a website. And printing through a website is perhaps the easiest for beginners because it already allows you to have a lot of assistance when it comes to designing and as far as the printing goes, and they break the steps down so that it's easy to understand. So it's easy in terms of the fact that they already provide you with templates and blanks, so it cuts down the time of you trying to research new blanks, but it can be a backhand issue when it comes to the time. A lot of times their turnaround times can be weeks because they're large manufacturers and they're doing a lot of orders at one time. So websites that I have used and have also seen other people use would be Uber Prints and Custom Ink. Method number 2, and perhaps the most effective, is going through a vendor. And I say going through a vendor can be the most effective because it's a one-stop shop for your designing, your packaging, and for your blanks. A lot of times these vendors have wholesale accounts, so where you might go and look at a blank and it might be one price, they might get it for a discounted price. So a pro of this would be that it's easy to go through them because you just tell them what you want, you send them your design, and they do everything from there. But some cons can be, in my personal experience, a lot of vendors have trouble with communication because just like method 1, they are manufacturers of a lot of orders at one time. So they're basically just trying to get all these orders done at one time. So be conscious of the fact that if they give you a turnaround time, it might be a little slower, it might be a little longer, and the communication might be off because they're dealing with a lot of orders at one time. But a pro of it is the fact that you don't really have to do much aside from sending them your design and basically making sure you keep in constant communication with them. And I'm going to add this last part so there's not any confusion as to how to go about looking for vendors. I would say the easiest way is to go through Google and basically put screen printers in insert city here, or embroiders in this city, or maybe if you're somebody like me who lives in Charlotte and understand that a metropolitan area like Atlanta might have a wider variety of screen printers, I'll put screen printers or embroiders in Atlanta. And then I just kind of go through and look at certain things as far as their turnaround time, their services they provide, and even if they have a gallery of some of their past work, I'll go look through there just to see if they're a reputable business. Okay, so method number 3, I'm going to break into 2 parts because they're essentially the same thing, but one is just a little bit more extensive and it's going to take a little bit extra work than the other. So 3A is going to be going through a website that provides blanks and then sending them to a vendor to be printed. So the pro of this, and I've done this before, is that sometimes when you go through a vendor and you purchase the blanks through them, they mess up with the sizes, or they can possibly give you the wrong blank. Therefore, when you go and get your own blanks, you know for a fact that you're going to get the right sizes, the right colors, and the right garments. So that's the pro. However, the con may be that you have to spend extra money providing the shipping to get the blanks to that vendor. So if you're someone who thinks that this is the best method for you because you want to be in charge of keeping up for your own blanks, I would say only do this method if you're someone who has a vendor in their own city. That way you can take the blanks and drive the blanks to the vendor rather than having to spend money on shipping. So some websites that allow you to go and buy your own blanks would be Alpha Broder, Jiffy Shirts, Shirt Champ, and basically just look up common blanks, so like Gildan t-shirts, and then go to the websites and just compare the prices of the blanks throughout different websites. So that's 3A. 3B would be going through wholesale accounts. and giving them to your vendor. And this is, in my opinion, the best method, but it's the most difficult because it takes a lot of setup time. So the way that I started doing it, I don't want to, I know this might sound selfish, I don't want to give you some of the vendors and wholesale accounts that I use, but I'll teach you a trick on how to find new wholesale accounts. Because sometimes these vendors will be a little bit stingy with giving you out information, because if you can do the same thing they're doing, they might be losing money. So what I would do is I would go to these vendors' websites, and I will look in their blanks catalog, and I will look at the names of the wholesale accounts that they use, and then go about doing research of how I can have my own wholesale account with that brand. So the pro of that is that you're allowing yourself to cut down on costs as far as purchasing through the vendor. Because a lot of times when the vendor uses the wholesale account to get the extra profit, they'll have a little bit of upcharge on the garment, and you'll realize that the garment is a lot cheaper than what the vendor is using. So it's extensive as far as going through the process of signing up for a wholesale account. Plus, a lot of wholesale manufacturers take a couple of days to review your account, review the number of garments that you're going to use per month, and it takes them a while to approve you. But once you do that, you have an account for life, and over time it's going to be better for your business because you now have premium garments that the vendor uses, but you're doing it through yourself. So one con of going through the wholesale, not only is it time consuming, but there are some wholesale accounts that require you to have extra certificates and certifications to go through them. So just do research on what your specific state requires you to become a wholesaler, and then go about trying to buy your own blanks through a wholesale account. Okay, those are the four methods that I use personally to get my t-shirts printed. And before I end this video, I just want to talk a little bit about the 3 techniques that I've used. I've used embroidery, and I like to use embroidery for any garment that I want to give a more luxury premium feel, because there's not many people who use embroidery. So when you use embroidery, you automatically set yourself apart from a lot of people. Screen print, everyone knows what screen print is. In my opinion, it's the most basic, and it's the most common printing technique for most people. And I like to use that specifically for text-based shirts a lot of times, or if it's a graphic that's maybe 1 or 2 colors, I'll use screen print. Any graphic that includes 4 to 5 to 6 or a bunch of colors, I like to use direct to garment, because direct to garment is a process in which they use a printer to directly put the ink into the shirt. The con of that is that as you wash the t-shirt, the graphic will eventually fade. The con of screen printing is that the more you wash it, it will crack, and it's also cheaper, so it may not last as long as the other 2. And the con of embroidery can be that when you wash it, the ink, the thread of it can eventually become unraveled. And some vendors have trouble doing very good embroidery, so be very selective if we go to embroidery. If you guys want me to go a little bit more in detail in another video, I'll do that. Other than that, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, put a comment down for any future video suggestions, and yeah, let's get rich together.